Hello friends, so today we're going to discuss the first four problems from the latest AdCoder Beginner Contest 189. The first four problems are a little bit like not too difficult if you understand the logic. We'll discuss all of the problems one by one. So let's start. The first problem is very simple. It states that you are giving a slot machine, as you can, if you know that there's some slot machine in which you can pull the lever and three of the letters or three characters will show on the slot machine. So the result of that spin results in three uppercase characters. Okay, so now if you'll only win if all of the three characters are same, so you just have to determine whether you'll win or not. So as you can see, C1, C2, C3 are the actually slot answers, and if both if all of them three are same, then the answer is 1, else the answer is lost. Okay, as you can see, this is V. So now it's very simple. I hope you solve it out. You just have to confirm that all the three characters should be same. The second problem states that Takahashi has n glass of liquor and the amount and alcohol percentage of the ith liquor were VI milliliter and P percentage by volume. Okay, so which means that he has some V glasses, like say n glasses, and every glass is VI, like it has VI ml of liquor, and the percentage of liquor or alcohol in that mug, you can assume, or glass you can assume, is PI. So it means that if you have, let's assume, 100 glass, 100 ml of liquid, then maybe it has 10% of alcohol. I hope you get the point. So now Takahashi get drunk when the alcohol intake exceeds X milliliter. So maybe if he has 100 ml of liquid, then only it has 10% of alcohol, which means out of 100 he has only 10 ml which is alcohol. So Takahashi will get only drunk when his exceed alcohol intake is more than X milliliter, not equal, but it is more according to the question. So now you have to tell that he is drinking in order, like the first glass, second glass, third glass, and so on. So whether after drinking at which point his alcohol, he will get drunk. Okay, so you have to just tell that, and he will only get drunk when his alcohol intake will become more than X milliliter. And if we drink all the drinks and he after that he also doesn't get drunk, then answer is -1. The problem is simple, but if you try to solve this problem using using divide and thing, which you can assume that you have VI ml of liquid. Okay, so for every liquid you can find out how many, what is the ml of alcohol in that. So if some liquid is let's assume 57 ml and it has 23% of alcohol, so now this calculation can get might vary in points. Okay, and if it get into some points, then it is very difficult to add them up, and because you can lose some points value, and then it can get a little bit messy. But in always such type of problem, I always recommend try to reduce the division problem. Can you somehow reduce the division problem and become everything into integers? You don't have to work with division. That's the main thing, and yes, you can do that. As you can see, this is the first example in which you have two glasses. The first glass is of 200 ml and it has 5% of liquor. So now as you can see, if it is 200 ml and it has 5%, so how many 10 ml of alcohol in this 200 of liquid? In the same, as you can see, it is 10.5 ml of alcohol in this 350 ml of liquid. Okay, and then if you add them both out, it becomes when he drink the first drink, he only consumed 10 ml, which is less than, because he can become drunk after 15 ml. Okay, but when he drinks this also, the second drink also, the total alcohol consumption will become 20.5, and now this is greater than 15, so now he will become drunk. So now what you can easily do here is, what actually, see in this left hand side, what actual part is making this divisible by what is actually making this point, this 10, this 100 part now, because if you just multiply 200 into 5, this part is integer value, but because I'm dividing by 100, this value is only giving us the division value or dividing double value. So why not take this 100 value, take this part, take this side, which is it will become that 5 into 200 becomes equal to 1000 ml. And as you can see, if it becomes 1000 and also take this 100 to this part, it will become 1050. And now you just multiply this, because I'm taking 100 to this side, multiply this with 100 also, which is 1500. And now you just have to tell that whether you just have to keep on adding this 200 into 5, 350 into 3, at which time it becomes greater than 1500. So now this becomes 1500. So instead of taking this as percentage, like because we are actually finding out the ml value, this is like milliliter. So let's assume I'm not talking about milliliter, I'm talking about the 100th part of a milliliter. So now when you find out the 100th part of a milliliter, so let's assume that you're finding out milliliter of a milliliter. When you find out milliliter of milliliter, you multiply with 1000 now. So just not multiply with 1000, multiply with 100. If you multiply both sides with 100, it will also becomes, because you're converting it to milliliter of milliliter, you also multiply with 100 on this part also. And now it's not actually milliliter of milliliter, but actually it's milliliter into 100. So that's what we're finding out. So it's very simple now. You just have to keep on adding this such that the total of that becomes greater than or equal to this number into 100. Okay, so that's the whole logic. I'll show you the code. You can also see the code in the description. So take the input of this is Oshna. Yeah, take the input of that number n into x. That is the input, and x multiply with 100. Okay, then these are the total values of a and b into input, and iterate over all of them. Find out their multiplication, add into the total, and the point at which this total, because this total will tell you the alcohol consumption, it becomes greater than x. Then the answer is I plus 1, because this is from 0th indexing and we have to do from 1th indexing, so I plus 1. Else if you do not find it out, then the answer is minus 1. And that's a very simple problem. You just have to understand that you don't have to work with like double values all the time. The third problem is a very standard problem, I'll show you the code itself, but actually I'll first talk about the problem, and then I'll tell you that it's a very standard problem. So the problem statement states that there are n dishes arranged in a row in front of Takahashi, okay, and the ith dish consists of, like the ith dish on the left consists of ai oranges. So like there are some bowls and each bowl has some ai number of oranges in it. Takahashi will choose a triplet L, R and X. So he can choose any triplet in which he'll consider L, R, which is like from 1 to L. So it means that L and R should be between M to N, and X is also greater than or equal to 1. So this is a triplet, and for each integer I between L to R, X should be less than F5, which means that if you choose some triplet, if you choose some value, which means that there are some some oranges value, okay, which means that there are some orange, like there are 2 oranges here, 4 oranges here, 6 oranges here, 3 oranges here, 5 oranges here. Now if you choose some L to R, you also choose some X, but the X should be such that all the values into L to R should be greater than or equal to X, as you can see. Okay, so let's assume that for this I can choose my L2, like I can choose X equal to 1, 2, 3, but I cannot choose X equal to 4 because this part is less than 4. So I can choose X equal to 1, 2 or 3 for this part. And now the problem statement just boiled down to this, that you want to pick up as maximum oranges as you want. So if you choose down this triplet, which is L, R and X, you will pick up and eat X oranges from L to R ranges in this thing. So which means that if you choose this, like this range, and X equal to 3, which means that you will choose 3 apples or 3 oranges from all the bowls, because it means that there are some bowls, you have to choose a continuous sub array which has a minimum of this number of oranges, such that the size of them becomes equal to, like this is maximum, and you have to maximize this. Now this is a standard problem. Why? Because as you can see, you can assume that these 2 buildings, it's a 2 height building, okay, then 4 height building, then 6 height building, and then a 3 height building and a 5 height building, okay, yeah, 5 height building, and so on. Okay, and then you have to choose some X such that in that range, like you have to choose some range, as you can see, you have to choose some range such that X, or like they have to also choose some X such that all the buildings should be greater than or equal to X, which means that you have to also choose some value X such that all the buildings should be greater than or equal to X, which actually means that you have to choose a rectangle in that, and you have to maximize that area, because see, you have to maximize the area of the rectangle in this histogram, which means that you just have to find out, like assume that these are the heights of some buildings, and you have to find out the maximum area of the rectangle in a histogram. So it's a very standard problem, maximum area of histogram. This is the first problem, the maximum rectangle area in histogram. Like you just have to copy this code out, or if you have to just understand this logic. It's a whole, like you can find out a lot of YouTube videos understanding or explaining this concept. I don't want to make another video of it. If you still want it, you can mention in the comment box, I can make a video on this also. So you just have to like understand this code and write it out there. It's very simple. So it's a very standard problem now, and you just have to find out that these are buildings, because you have to find out that whether you can take out this X number of oranges among all these subarrays, continuous subarray, and yeah, you have to like, it means that you have to take out this number of oranges and from these, like from the continuous subarray. So you have to just find out the area, and area will give you the number of oranges. Okay. The last problem of the set is, you are given n strings, as you can see, from S1 till Sn, and each of which are either and or. Okay, as you can see, these are and or and so on. And then what you actually have to do here is, you have to you have to fill or actually make a tuple of n plus 1 variables. So which means that you actually have to make n plus 1 variables tuples, which means that you have to just make a variable. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you have to make n plus 1 values like this, like so on till n plus 1, whatever the answer is, and then you have to fill that with either true or false, such that you have to compute the value of that using these values. Which I actually mean by this is, if you have n input, which is like and or, so you have to do them in a continuous manner, which means that, let's assume for the first value, I'll understand you with the first value, these are and or. Okay, and now, which means that n is equal to 2, so you have to make a tuple of size 3. Okay, and now the first value is and the second value is or. Now you have to fill this with true or false, such that when you do an and of both of these values, and it will come down to some value which is like this. Then if you do an or of this value and this value, then it will boil down to some answer, and that answer should always be true. I hope you understand the point. You have to make or find out the number of ways such that you fill out n plus 1 ways. If n is equal to 2, so you have to fill out 3 ways with either true or false, such that the end result should be true. And you have to do these operations and or anything else, like whatever the given question is, in the current order. And it means that if you, like, let's assume if you put the first word is and, okay, so which means that it can be such that all of them should be true. If all of them are true, then the answer for this and this, because it is an and, it will give you an and the answer for now this is true and this is also true, so true and true or give you true. And yeah, so this is one possible answer, and you have to find out all possible answers for this particular scenario. Okay, so now what you actually have to do is, you just have to think that you have to think in a reverse manner. What reverse manner mean is, let's say we have 3 numbers, 3 position to fill out. Okay, and then it is and or. Okay, now if it is an or in the end, which means that whatever number will be there, these 2 characters will be there, either of them should be true. Like anything can be true. It can be this true, both of them true. Okay, so there are, like, we have 2 possibilities. The first possibility is, like, I can either, like, if this is a true, okay, then this should be a true. Okay, but if this is a false, then this should be a true. Okay, so like there are 2 possibilities, like based on the last option. So like some answer will be come to this point, some answer will come to this point from the left. So it can be either true or false. If it is a true, okay, so it can be like there can be 2 answers. It can be true because it is a true answer. So I can either put a true here, or I can put a false. It doesn't matter. But okay, so they are like one option here. Okay, and then if it is a false, then like I have to actually put true. So there is only one option for this. But if it is a true, okay, then I have 2 options. So in total, like I have 2 options in total. Why actually I'm telling you, we actually have to multiply now. Okay, so 2 into 1 into 1. What I actually mean by this, like if the ending comes out to be true, like this is the second last position is true, then I have to put anything here. I can put a true or a false. So like there are two possibilities for the final option. But if it is a false, then I have only one possibility. Okay. Now if the coming element is an and, okay, so this should be a true and this should be a true. So there is only one option. I hope you get my point. So the simple trick in this problem is, if you understand that, the simple trick in this problem is, you have to because we always want a true answer. Okay, we always want a true answer. So what you can do here is, there are always two possibilities, because see, we have to so let's assume that everything is OR. Everything is OR. Okay, so which means that I have to put only one. So as you can see in the end, like at this position, if I put out, like I have two position. For OR always I have two answers. I can either put a true or I can put a false. So it is a 2 condition. Now it is a 2 condition. It is a 2 condition. Okay, so as you can see, actually these are not two positions. Actually we have only two or, so we just have to iterate over them. But as you can see, how many positions, like if they are both of them are or and or, then how many positions I can fill? Like I can put like a true, true, true. Okay, so like all of the answers, like, because if there is at least one true, then the answer will be like correct. Because see, if there is only one true also, everything is false, then also the answer will be true, because all of them are or. If all of them are false, then only the answer will turn out to be false. Okay, or else answer will be true only. Okay, so as you can see, which means that I have to just add out. So it means that it is like 2 to the power of, like, the first position can be 2 to the power of. So for the first position I have how many positions I can fill? 2 to the power 3. Okay, so so how many positions, like, so that as you can see, for the first position I have 2 option, 2 option and 2 option, so it turns out to be 8. But not actually, the answer is 8 because we are also counting out this condition, but this is not false, so I have to subtract about -1 from it, so answer is 7. Okay, so but actually what you actually have to do here is, in this problem, is you have to just find out that how many answers are there. Okay, so in counting out how many answers are there, what you can do here is, for every position you have to counter that how many this position will add value in the final answer. Okay, so now if it is an AND, then it will multiply with 1 only, because see, if all of them are AND, then all should be true only. So that there is only one answer, because see, there is only one answer, so there is no possibilities. We are not doubling it out, so there is no multiplication with 2. But if it is odd, then we multiply it with 2. Okay, and that's what we are doing. But in the end we have to also like find out that whether, like, the one answer is also counted more times. So we have to subtract 1 from it. Okay, and that's the whole logic. I should show it more with the code part. So as you can see, okay, so take the input of n, take this input of all the strings. Okay, so now as you can see, for every position we have 2 possibilities. Okay, so now what we can do here is, okay, so as you can see, for the first position, let's assume we have to do an or and AND. Okay, if we do an AND operation, then what we actually have to do here is, we have to ensure that both of them should be true. So nothing is added, like the number of possibility will not change. Like, there is one sequence which is building and it should be true and true at this position, so there is no possibility. Now if it is an OR, okay, if it is an OR, then we have to assume that, like, or if you are going back to front, if it is like true, then if it is a true, that I can put a true here, or I can put a false here. So it is like 2 to the power fn. At this position I have 2 possibilities entered. Okay, now because it is a, like, if it is a true or false, then at this position also I can put a true or a false. So 2 to the power n, so I have to, like, add it out, multiply it again. So, like, this possibility is again added. So as you can see, this is 2 times again added, this is 2 times again added, because see, it is, if this is added, like it has 2 cases, this has also 2 cases. So it's now become 2 to the power of 1 plus 2 to the power of 2. Okay, so as you can see, that's what we are doing, because see, 2 power 1, because this is also adding and this is also adding, and that's what we are doing here also. We have actually calculated out the 2 to the power of 2 till 60, because see, this is they are actually n is up to 10 to the power 6, so 2 to the power 6, so the maximum 2 multiplication is 10 like 2 to the power 60. So we have actually calculated out for all the 60 powers from 1 to 60, because it will be used, or you can also calculate out manually, but like you can also calculate out here also. So that we have also calculated 2 to the power 60, because we are only required 2 to the power of like something. So this is total, and then iterate from back to front, and if it is an OR, then only at this point we'll add the power, because see, if the ith last term, so as you can see, if it is like as you can see, if the fifth term, like as you can see in this is 0th indexing. Okay, so as you can see, if this the fourth term is like because these values are like 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so now if the second term is like and, so this position we have fixed this position. For the first position it is OR, so for this position I have 2 possibilities. For 0th position I have 0 possibility. So for this position, for it's 1, for the second position I have to do like OR position. So I plus 1, that's what we are doing. For I plus 1, power of I plus 1 is added in total, and a total plus 1 in the output. And that's the whole logic for this problem. You have to just look over this pattern, and then I've just used this pattern in the final like answer. I hope you understand all the logics and the problem. All the code will be in the description. I'll see you next one. Keep coding. Bye.